With Dara O'Brien tonight, a man who variously describes himself as Beep, the King of Swing and the Rama Lama. Hopefully his English lessons have progressed far enough for him to take part tonight. It's the music guru, BP Fallon. With Brendan O'Connor of the Sunday Independent, a DJ who controversially quit his morning slot on RTE Radio 1. He says he dealt with the stress of the situation by doing this. I was able to walk around the hills and get this out of my system and talk to the animals. It's a brave man who can describe RTE bosses that way. The presenter of the Drop Drive Time on 2FM, Gareth O'Callaghan. Our first game is called Premiers in the News. Each team will be given a set of props, which gives amazing clues to an amazing fact about a leader of a country. Dara and BP, you go first. You get a burger and a bottle of vodka. All your major vitamins there.
Absolutely, all the food groups. Yeah, we do.
So what does that tell you about Boris Yeltsin?
Oh, it's about Yeltsin. Okay, great.
Boris Yeltsin.
We can presume, well, I think this clearly implies a certain tendency to drink from Boris Yeltsin, which has been well observed and documented over the years. The hamburger, I presume, is there because
he loves Elvis, basically, isn't it?
Yeah, and Boris Yeltsin used to be Russia's first Elvis impersonator. No? No. Thanks, Beep. No. What I think it is because this is obviously the international symbol for America, the hamburger. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's all big, fat and cheesy. But obsessed with having good buns. And the thing is, I know that Yeltsin a number of years ago did a lecture tour of America, which was a disaster because Exhibit B over here played a rather large part in the whole thing. But nobody noticed. This is a cool thing about it, because nobody noticed, because they'd ask him a question, as an interpreter would interpret the question, and then Boris would go, Niet Dubrovsky, Leningrad, Uktarocha, banana. And then the interpreter would go, Mr. Yeltsin is saying, I love you, man, you're my best friend. And all the journalists went, my God, the interpreter is an alcoholic. This is terrible. So nobody ever noticed that. Is that something to do with that tour?
What were you saying, BP, actually?
Very good question. Something about burgers, actually. I don't know. I mean, I got kind of probably waylaid, if you excuse the bad language.
You did mention the word Elvis. I'm not trying to feed you a line here.
I mentioned,
but you did mention Elvis.
Yeah,
that's good enough for me. You get 2 points, because that's more or less the right answer. The answer is that in 1991, the military there was a coup in Russia. And at the time the coup was taking place, Boris Yeltsin was actually at home sculling back vodka and listening to Elvis records. And that's why he didn't notice the large tank in the sitting room for quite some time.
I thought it was Elvis, right?
You get 2 points for that. Well done.
Brilliant.
And now, Boris Yeltsin is a rather talented musician in his own right. Have a look at this. Of course, Boris's most famous visit here was when he came to Shannon, and all the government went out to meet him, and he just didn't get out of the plane for some strange reason. There's the stairs now. As you can see, no Boris. All the government are on the right-hand side of their nice red carpet they've laid out for him. They're all looking a bit fed up there now. There's Albert, where the hell is he? And now here's Brian Cowan. Look, dying to go to the Jacks. He's jigging up and down there. And there's the red carpet. Look at the dodgy-looking stain there on the side of the red carpet. What do you think happened there?
Sean, can I just say hello to somebody?
You can, yes,
I can. I know this probably isn't the right place, but I just want to say a big hello to all the people who missed the start of the show because they couldn't bear to miss the end of ER. Gareth, you're very welcome. Thank you.
And it's your go. I don't know if you know this. A few weeks ago on the show, we actually read out an extract of your book. Gareth is a talented man. He wrote a novel called Dare to Die. I actually have it here with me. And we actually read out an excerpt of it, and it was absolute filth. And never enjoyed myself so much reading out. Now, obviously, we don't like to repeat things we've done before. So we're not going to read an excerpt tonight. Sorry about that. Okay then. Now what we've done, just to make it a bit different, is that we've got two actors to recreate the scene for us. So this is a reading from Dare to Die by Gareth O'Callaghan. Her legs were spread out across his, and her gorgeous rocking was the first thing he could see. Her wet vagina in full view, aching to be filled with his throbbing Now,
John,
yeah.
I think you're doing Garrett's book an injustice there, you know, because you're making out it's just all about sex and stuff, but it's actually a very emotional book as well. And I know that when I read it, I had to keep a box of Kleenex near at hand.
Well, thank you, Brendan.
Man size, naturally.
Of course, yes.
You could say I was glued to the book on page 1.
Yes, we did have quite a difficulty getting it off Brendan, actually. Thanks for Derek Davis for helping us out there on that recreation of the scene. Now, I pointed this out last time that we read this piece out from the book, that obviously you people in Teleline, you're just hearing a load of bleeps, but the studio audience did hear the full thing, the unexpurgated version of it. So if you do want tickets for the show, we do need to point out that you have to be 18 or over. So if you're under 18, just lie about your age, basically. So anyway, Gareth and Brendan, you smut peddler. Is research a big part of your work?
Yes, it took years. Long nights.
I don't know if I wanted to know that, really. Anyway, your premiere is blonde pouting Bertie Ahern. We actually have a picture of Bertie. This is when that's when he was a member of the Unbelievables. He's in the news this week because he took time out from his busy schedule of opening supermarkets to move the writ for 2 by-elections. And so your 2 props are you get a bag of fruit and a walking stick. Fruit with a limp, so to speak. What does that tell you about Bertie?
Well, I didn't really know, right? I was thinking that 2 things, fruit, and then you have a walking stick. So was it something about him being an aging fruit? Or else, walking stick, somebody with a limp, and then banana, limp banana, but what I don't see is you said it was a little known fact about Bertie Ahern, so I don't see how either of them are...
Yeah. Good point, that really, yeah. Well, the actual reason is that he used to play GAA competitively until he was 34 years of age, and then he stopped because he injured his back lifting a handcart on Moore Street. You'd think he'd have people to lift his handcart for him on Moore Street, you know. So no points for that, sorry about that. 0 there. Now, of course, Bertie is a dub, and many people think that because of this, he's not really that sensitive to the needs of farmers. Though he did appear on the Late Late Show a few weeks ago, and he demonstrated an amazing grasp of agricultural matters.
Mr. Bertie Ahern, over here. Hey! How are you, sir? Look at that. Look at that.
Cows.
Cows. Cows. Sheep and everything.
Amazing, isn't it, really, how much you can learn? So after that round, yes?
Bertie demonstrating his skills of observation, and next he's going to look up and he's going to say, condescending old man in a stupid jumper.
So after that round, the scores are that Dara's team got 2 points and Brendan's team got no points. So the big industrial relations news of the week was the ongoing dispute at the Showering Cider Factory. The effect of the strike is already being felt all over the country. Over the weekend, shocked members of the public reported the unbelievable sight of sober 16-year-olds in the streets of many Irish towns. Time now for our much missed...
You know, Sean, that Showerings don't just make cider, they also make Ritz. So, right, they make Bulmers and they make Ritz. And a lot of people are saying that this shortage of Bulmers and Ritz is a kind of a plan to stop Limerick people from procreating.
A place where a lot of people watch this show, and until this week, obviously.
Speaking of dirt, give us a look at that, will you?
What, the book?
Yeah, go on, will you? Ladies and gentlemen, we will now have the second reading from Dare to Die by Gareth O'Callaghan. His tight stomach, his strong muscular arms and solid his dark hairy legs, she pulled him towards her. His stiff pressing against her navel. A small dribble of get that right, kept its magnificent moist and playful. May I just say that it's very heavy to hold with one hand.
Found that too. Now, some international news. This week, in an interview with the Irish Times, the Chinese Foreign Minister Huang Guoqiang, or something like that anyway, claimed that human rights abuses were going on in Northern Ireland. China has for some time been keeping an eye on the North, as this recent article in the Chinese magazine The Beijing Review demonstrates. About 2/3 of the population of Northern Ireland are immigrants from England who believe in Protestantism. Their political organisation, Fine Gael, stands for unification with Britain. When he gets here, Wang Guoqiang plans to travel to the Irish capital, Killarney, and meet with our Prime Minister, Larry Gogan. Time for some real adverts now, but when we return, find out how the town of Ballinasloe, County Galway, has entered the space age. See you in a few minutes.
In Ballinasloe, the lollipop man steps into the space age. For amateur inventor and gadgeteer Lawrence Ward is perfecting an invention to make life easier for the traffic warden. In Ballinasloe, the lollipop man steps into the space age. For amateur inventor and gadgeteer Lawrence Ward is perfecting an invention to make life easier for the traffic warden. The inventor hopes to persuade local authorities to change to his system, and he's applied for a patent.
Would people in Ballinasloe traditionally be mad in the head, would they? Would
No.
that be the message you're trying to get across, Sean?
No.
No. Where are you from, Sean?
Ballinasloe.
Yeah, okay.
The bucket-wearing capital of Ireland, and proud of it. Time now for a State of the Nation, where we test how much in tune our contestants are with the average bucket-wearing citizens on the street. Now, as you know, Ireland will have 2 by-elections next month, which could have a dramatic effect on the government's majority. So this week we visited the constituency where the government could get a knife in the back. The Sahara Desert, the peaks of Kilimanjaro, Death Valley. The world is full of inhospitable places. But here in Ireland, we have Limerick Junction. Yes, folks, this week we are in Limerick, which of course is the scene of a forthcoming by-election. We're standing outside Limerick's premier tourist attraction, which is of course the world-famous store Todd's of Limerick. Limerick, of course, as they say, is a lady. It's sort of like the Twink of the Southwest. Of course, the landscape of Limerick has inspired many artists over the years. Here's another example, and here's what inspired it. Look, viewers, celebrities on the streets of Limerick. It's Norm from Cheers. Checking out some gear. So there we were. We're in Limerick. Dara, you go first.
Sean, do I not get to read a piece from Garrett's book?
It was your agent to be moaning if you don't. Go on then.
As she sat down onto his swollen she took a deep breath and moaned loudly. She ran her fingers across her playing with them as she maneuvered his in between the warm, inviting lips of her wet
I mean,
One at a time, please.
Gareth, you were a seminarian, I would say.
Appropriately enough.
Did all the priests?
Yes.
Did all the priests gather around and go, no, another story from Gareth, another story from Gareth?
So you get Northern Ireland. Sinn Féin claimed that they're victims of a kangaroo court. So the question we asked was, Sinn Féin say they're the victims of a kangaroo court. Should we allow Australians to meddle in our internal affairs in this way? We asked this man. He said, A, we've enough of that rubbish on the television. B, Australians, them fellas is pure badness. Or C, I'm not thinking about it.
What's he got in his head? That's really bizarre.
It's sort of a tea cozy type of thing.
So, well, you're a question on world politics from a man who thinks he's a kettle in the streets of Limerick. Pop up the answers again. Let's have a look at them.
Be C, wouldn't it?
You're going for C.
Yeah,
B.
C.
But this is my
not your
question,
question.
so
Okay.
shag it. I go for A.
You'd go for A. That's we've enough of that rubbish on the television. Let's have a look at the VT and find out.
Excuse me, sir. Could I ask you a quick question, please?
What?
Could I ask you a quick question, please?
Yeah.
Sinn Féin claim they're being tried by a kangaroo court.
Yeah.
Do you think we should allow Australians to meddle in our internal affairs?
I haven't got a clue.
Would you guess?
No, I've got a clue actually. I'm just not thinking about it, you know.
All right, thanks very much.
No points for that. Sorry about that. BP, your question concerns Michael Flatley. He's announced that he's going to be doing his last ever shows in Ireland. Personally, yes. I've never looked forward to a gig so much, I must say. He also claims to be the fastest dancer in the world. So the question we asked was, if Michael Flatley is the fastest dancer in the world, how come his stage shows go on for such a long time? We asked this woman, did she say A, maybe he's not as fast as he thinks he is? B, do you not know me? I'm Darina Allen. Or C, he wants everyone to see his padded crotch.
I think A would be a pretty good beginner there.
He's not as fast as he thinks he is. Let's have a look at the VT and find out.
Can I ask a quick question, please? Michael Flatley claims to be the fastest dancer in the world. Why do you think it is then that his stage show goes on for such a long time?
He's not as fast as he thinks he is. Maybe.
Could be.
2 points for you, BT. Well done.
Well done, Vic.
So, Brendan, it's your go. Obviously, Fianna Fáil needs to win the seat in Limerick. So the question we asked was, Limerick voters could destabilise the government, but aren't some members of the government unstable as it is? We asked this man, did he say A, they are unstable, they keep shaking, B, they are unstable, they roll a lot, or C, they are unstable, they keep going in and out?
Right. Of course, this wouldn't be the first time that someone from Limerick put someone in a stable condition, would it? But seriously, folks. C.
C, they're unstable, they keep going in and out. Let's have a look at the VT and find out.
Hello, can I ask you a quick question, please?
How are you doing?
In March, the voters in Limerick could destabilise the government. Do you think that certain members of the government are as unstable as it is?
I think totally unstable.
In what way?
Well, they keep going in and coming out. Can't make up their mind.
Okay, thanks very much, sir.
So, Gareth, your story of the week concerns the revelations that Tesco in the UK ran adverts in some of the British trade press saying that they weren't going to sell Irish beef in their British shops. Now, obviously, Tesco own Quinsworth, so this week, Maurice Pratt. What a great name. Maurice Pratt admitted that Tesco's had made a blunder. Apparently, Tesco's didn't realise that Irish people can read.
And you know what Maurice Pratt's going to do now, just to ensure that they're even-handed and unpartisan about the whole thing? They put an ad in the Farmer's Journal for next week saying, Brits out.
Man yourself, Maurice. So the question we asked was, if Tesco in Britain won't sell the meat from our cows, why should we have the Spice Girls over here? We asked this man, did he say, A, them girls is fine big lassies? B, they shouldn't be here, it's a secret? Or C, I like cows, do you like cows?
C!
Says that man's daughter from the audience.
Well, he actually, he reminds me of a guy Gay Byrne met in an old folks home there last week. And Gay Byrne says, hello there, do you know who I am? And he said, ask the matron, she'll be able to tell you. I'd say A. A. Never.
Yeah. Them girls is fine big lassies. Let's have a look at the VT and find out.
Sir, can I ask you a quick question, please? Can I ask you a quick question? If Tesco won't sell the meat from our cows in their British shops, do you think it's right that we should have the Spice Girls over here?
No, they shouldn't be here.
Why not?
I don't think so.
Why do you think they shouldn't be here? You don't know, or is it a secret?
It's a secret, I think.
So, no points for that. Sorry about that. So, after that round, the scores are that Dara's team got 2 points and Brendan's team got 2 points. Now, normally in this part of the show, we have our final round, 60 seconds of facts, and this week is no different. I'll ask a minute's worth of questions about the week's events. They get a point for the right answer, or 2 points if they can raise a laugh out of the studio audience. Dara and BP, your 60 seconds of facts starts now. In a recent survey, the biggest turn-off for 9 out of 10 men is what?
The RTE guide.
2 points for that. Underarm hair is the actual answer. Fergie injured her shoulder doing what last week?
She was
Auditioning
reading Garrett's book.
C is the right answer. Findus in England discovered what in their crispy pancakes?
Sparkle.
A Bosnian immigrant family.
Glass is the right answer. Shh, they've only got a minute. Helmut Kohl was made what last week?
Do the hokey cokey.
A freeman of London. According to a suppressed report, cannabis is what?
Bad.
Very popular in Galway.
Taken off the air is the answer there, I think, yeah. According to The Independent, Burden McHugh is the biggest waft to come out of Donegal from Daniel O'Donnell.
Village idiot. Gone bean man.
Oh, no laughs there. Big crowd in from Donegal. Star is the answer there. Sorry. Oh, sorry, that's the end of that. Well done, Star. Brendan and Gareth, your 60 seconds of facts start now. A government unit set up to monitor radio broadcasts was what, according to Bertie Ahern?
Was responsible for the recent doubling in the listenership figures for Radio Ireland.
Tone deaf.
Cost effective is the actual answer. What does the Department of Health want to do to 1,000 nurses?
Nothing that 1,000 nurses wouldn't do, I'm sure.
Recruit them is the right answer. Mourners at his funeral were told Enoch Powell was what?
Eamon Dunphy's father.
Not a racist is the answer.
Dead.
What did, thank God, what did Jerry Adams' cousin get off the government last week?
A 10-minute warning, which he felt was unfair because he never gave a warning to anybody else.
£30,000 is the answer. What got Bono angry in Australia last week?
Someone called him a precocious git.
Was it because he heard that Dame? Was it because he heard that Dame Edna Everage was bigger down under than he is?
High ticket prices. Due to overcrowding, patients in a Nace hospital had to lie on what last week?
Derek Davis.
Meow, mattresses. So at the end of that round and at the end of the show, the scores are that Brendan's team got 14 points, but Dara's team got 16 points, and they're this week's winners. So that's it. We'll be back next week to do exactly the same, or if you're watching on the Sunday night repeat of this show, it's about time we went to bed. Thanks to Dara's guest, BP Fallon, and with Brendan, Gareth O'Callaghan. But as we go, tomorrow night in The Point, the Spice Girls will for the first time mime in front of an Irish audience. Earlier on, I rang their agent suggesting another Irish venue that they should consider playing. Thanks for helping us feed the gondolas. Good night.
I'm looking to speak with somebody, please, in connection with the Spice Girls, in connection with the possibility of booking them for an event.
If I can just explain the situation to you, the real point person is away at the moment. We'll be back on Monday. His assistant is having a half day off, and their boss is not in the office at the moment. So it's going to be a bit difficult for me to help you. Can I suggest you write a fax for us? With all your details on them, and fax them through for the attention of Bart Cool.
Bart Cool?
Yes.
Well, could I ask you, just for your advice now, because I'm a novice to all this, and I'm ringing you from Ireland, from a little village in the west of Ireland called Ahascra. Now, I know that the Spice Girls are spending a lot of time in Ireland at the moment, which is why we had the idea. But I'm a member of the committee for our New Year's Eve celebrations for 1999. Now, we have a little venue in Ahascra. Now, Ahascra is a very small little village. It's only about 500 people. But we have the Starlight Ballroom in Ahascra, and we've already booked Pascal's Country Sound. I don't know if you've heard of Pascal's Country Sound.
Not really, no.
Well, they'll be very popular in the west of Ireland. But we wondered maybe that we were having Pascal anyway, but that after that we could have the Spice Girls. And we thought we'd ask well in advance because we know that they're very busy.
Sure.
And we know that obviously they're very highly paid, but we do have a bit of a fund, and we would be talking thousands of pounds, rather than hundreds for the fee.
Right.
And do you think they would be interested at all?
Oh, God, it's a difficult call. I mean, you're, let's see, almost 2 years ahead of your date, which is great planning. It's hard to say what the Spice Girls will be doing now. Obviously,
do they do many country and western songs? Because that's very popular in Ahascra and in the West.
Right, no, they don't do any country.
They don't do country and western songs?
No.
Oh, right, okay. Well, thank you very much. You've been very helpful, and I will report back to the committee.
Okay, fine.
Thanks very much now.
No problem now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Det er ikke spesielt fint at passe børn.
Mens mor prøver for n-te gang å koble henne med en mann, men denne gangen